Hello and welcome. My name is Marco Morales and I am a concept artist. Today I want to walk you through the Glass Inferno, which is a digital piece I completed recently. My inspiration is to create liminal spaces, that is a location which is a transition between two spaces. And I have been exploring the concepts of ice and fire, of blue and red, cold glass and hot rock, applied to environments and architectures of transition. So with this in mind, I formed a lyrical and art direction for an AI image generator, in this case Midjourney, to generate the ingredients I wanted to work with. I usually already have something in my mind when I start, and that gives me an idea what sort of keywords to use. Once I put them into the AI, I collected the resulting high-resolution images and started to clean them up, and to create a composition that was aesthetically pleasing, that was balanced on the canvas, and that would take the viewer through a journey from a starting point to a conclusion, a narrative of sorts. So what I'm trying to do here is get an idea of what is the right balance of the elements on the screen. So I'm creating a sketch, and that way I can visualize where everything goes. There was no initial composition. Midjourney produces elements, but doesn't necessarily balance the image. Color is important, so everything looks natural. It doesn't stick out. So getting the right tone, the right hues in place is important. Making sure that the light hits the right way. Here you can see that I'm taking parts from different images and then bringing them in, cutting them out, and adjusting so that the whole thing starts to take shape. I love that waterfall effect that this part has, so I wanted to keep that. For this composition, I love the idea of having floating islands and surrounded by clouds, and I imagine that the journey here might start on the far right, and our character or our protagonist might have to enter through the right side and walk along this long skinny part, like a bridge almost, to get to the other side where there's a massive compound, and then eventually get to the top, some sort of headquarters on a top of a mountain with a really long staircase. That might be an interesting place to start. I always think about if this was either a book or a story or a video game, what is the journey that the character needs to go through. So in this case, it's the starting point where there's a long staircase, and once they get to the bottom, where would they go? Initially, I had this idea of having a bridge. I wasn't sure what shape it was going to take, but I really like these monoliths. So I decided to make them into the two towers on both sides of the bridge. To balance the whole picture, I also needed something bigger in the background. and I thought maybe there's another story behind this particular painting, and they've arrived to this floating city. They've already walked through some of the other buildings, and they've met some of the locals before getting to that tower, to that headquarters, and then going down the stairs. And to indicate that this is where you start, to make it very clear visually, I thought let's put a big ray coming from the sky, inspired probably by Tron and Star Wars and all the sci-fi movies I've ever watched. But I think hopefully that directs your attention and you're going from red to blue. And that's what it looks like. Thank you for sticking to the end. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Check out my other work, and if you like what I do, you can get my artwork through my website or by subscribing through Patreon. Hope to see you next time.